What's up, friends? Today we're taking another look at the Melt Cosmetics Gemini Eyeshadow Palette. Today we're primarily using the warm brown neutral shades. I already would like to upload the video using the olive shades. I can tell you right now, I love these eyeshadows. They are powdery and they do have a lot of kickback in the pan. If you want to see a full-on review with swatches and details of the eyeshadow palette, I will link that video up above and down below. Today we'll just get ready with the brown shades and take a look at how they show up on the eyes. And if you want to see that happen, then please keep on watching. I like my colorful plaid shirts and my colorful headband. I got this from Aliens of Brooklyn here in NYC. I will make sure to link their info down below. I bought this the other day and I am in love. Before we get started, let's apply some lip fetish lip balm from our mama Pat McGrath. I bought this with my $100 free Sephora money and I was very happy to find it in stock. So this is how she looks like. I mean, most luxurious lip balm I have ever freaking used. It is in the shade Blow Up. I've already used it, but here is what the bullet looks like. Here is what the shade is. Very sheer, so it's not going to show up as a full-on cream color, but you know, it's just so good. I don't know what's in here. I mean, yes, I could read the ingredient list, but I'll have to go more in depth with a lot of these different ingredients that I can't just recognize, like shea butter. Like, I don't know. As a really nice soft wash of color on the lips. They're so soft and plush. It's like Well, let's get into these eyeshadows, okay? Did I prep my lids? Did I even bring concealer? I'm using my Too Faced Born This Way concealer because my little Cover FX is tiny and I just want to make sure she lasts, you know what I mean? This is like 1 full fluid ounce of product. The Cover FX is like 0.33 ounces of product. It's a major difference. I'm gonna place that on the lids, carve out a little bit maybe. I don't know why I didn't do this while I was applying my foundation. I just totally forgot. My eyebrows are a little dark today. I mistakenly picked up my Goof Proof in number 5, but of course didn't realize it until I started sketching. And then I eventually found my 3.5 and just used 3.5 on the front parts of my brow and the number 5 on the tail. And just buff that out. This is my Luxie 120. It's one of my favorite brushes for buffing out concealer on the lid. I think I'm gonna pop in first with Lorelei. Lorelei is like this beautiful warm mustard color, and I think pretty much is the main attraction to this palette. My favorite shade out of all of them is MICHI, that like light olive green shade. I know you guys want to zoom in a little closer. I'm so sorry. Going in softly with Lorelei on the crease. This is like a beautiful shade. It looks more mustardy in the pan, but we're gonna build this up. Who's getting the new Natasha Denona gold palette today, friends? I'm trying to wait until my Google money comes in, and of course that's not until the 21st, so I might have to hold off. If I'm impatient, then I'm gonna have to teach more classes, maybe do an online private or 2 or 3. I'm taking Luna, that beige shade, right at the beginning of the palette, and that is the shade we will blend out Lorelei with. A lot of people were using Lorelei with the olive shades, which I think is fine. I feel you run into trouble when you start to mix in the brown shades. And today we will just stick exclusively brown here because I just want to see how much they build. I did try them the other day and I liked my look. It was really soft, really neutral. It wasn't anything mind-blowing like what the olive shades did for me. Oh my god, so loud. Hello? Excuse me. I'm gonna take Luna because again, I got a little too much close to the brow, so I'm just trying to buff that away. Now with Polka Dot, using my Wingos number 4. Oh, wrong side of the mirror. Too big. I'm gonna pat that in first and get some color on there. Looking nice so far. I don't know how much we'll be able to build with this color, but we shall see. I'm placing it on the inner portion of my lid, and I'm gonna take it across to connect the points. And I'm keeping it primarily in my crease and trying not to take it up too high. Taking my first brush with Lorelei and just buffing out those edges. Looking good so far. I like how that combines with Lorelei. I definitely have to look into the camera too, because sometimes I can't see those spots that need to be blended in my mirror, but when I look in my camera, the light really brings it out to the surface. You're like, ooh, you're not done yet. I'm trying not to punch my brush into the pan, because if you do, sorry, I'm not in frame, excuse me, you'll get a lot of kickback. And whatever kickback I'm getting, I'm just taking it up with my brush. I'm not trying to disturb the pan so much because I don't want to waste product. So that's why I'm being very careful with how I put my brush into the pan. Again, we're dealing with that line. You see that line? It's like it just catches onto skin that I don't know exists. Just making sure we graze this through the crease. I just watched the new Urban Decay Elemental something called palette, and I was talking so much crap about it the other day, saying no, I'm not gonna buy it, it looks dumb. Dude, those swatches impressed me. Oh my god, I was not ready for the color impact, friends. And the metallic finish. There's a blue in there that actually reminds me a lot of the blue I have in my Ace Beauty Quintessential palette, so maybe I should just calm down and keep using that blue. But man, oh man, like I was not ready for the opacity. And also they just have really fun transformation shades in there that you can layer over on the shadows in the palette or other eyeshadows that you might have. And then they have like a few matte shades, but they all are in the same family as the metallic shades. So you got like your pink matte shade to blow out the fun red metallic shades, and you got a neutral matte for the other more like copper and bronzy metallic shades, and then you have something for the blues, I think. Maybe not, that's probably a lie, but I have to look at it again. I was like this close to buying it, and I was like, no. Polka dot lower lash line. I'm like, girlfriend, you need to calm down. And I'm so pissed because I already spent all my Sephora dollar money, you know what I mean? But I'm like, maybe it won't be that popular and it will go on sale, because a lot of these holiday palettes eventually do. But if it's a good one, I'm not sure if it will still be on the shelves or it will just not go on sale. So we shall see. And the highlighter that comes with the collection is really cool. It's like the Fenty Diamond something, except the Fenty Diamond whatever is like a ColourPop Super Shock highlighter shadow texture. Is like that bouncy texture that, you know, that molds every time you press into it with your fingers. The Urban Decay is a much drier texture, but it still has that same like high shine glittery finish. But it's so pretty because it looks gold in like the mound, but when you actually swatch it, it has like different colored glitter specks in there. It has like blue and green. It's like really cool. Taking Luna and just trying to blend this out a little bit and make it cleaner. All right, looking nice. Now with Cupcake, same number 4. I'm gonna clean that off a little bit actually before I dip into Cupcake, just so that we don't get an overload of color. And I'm placing that right on the outer V. Now this shade, it's kind of hard to tell. It looks lighter than, what's the other shade called? Polka Dot, but it's supposedly the darkest brown in the palette. So I'm wondering if maybe, you know, it will add some depth. I'm just gonna brush it across my lid. You know what, we're gonna just make this an all matte eye, because why not? And I think for that purpose it serves quite well. So I'm gonna keep doing that, and it's pigmented enough that I don't have to use a flat shader brush of any sort. I could just continue using this brush, which is primarily a blending brush, but it still picks up product pretty well and will lay it down nicely still. Just pulling it out a little more, and I think maybe I'll definitely use a smaller brush. Let me go in with my Smith 253. I'm gonna make sure I clean that off. And just with the edge of the brush, I'm grazing that right under my outer and inner portions of the lower lash line. Just make sure we bring that smoke all the way in towards the corners. I'm taking Polka Dot again, and I'm just kind of creating a better gradient here. I want it to look smoother. I'm using a very light pressure and just relying on the highest tip point of the brush to make that happen. So I don't want to push the brush so far into my crease that the other bristles start diffusing out. I want to keep it right here in this section, right in the crease. I'm taking a little more Lorelei with my number 16, and I'm doing the same thing. I'm relying on the highest point of the brush, not pushing it too deeply into my eye socket, and just to help clean this up a little more. I'm gonna be a little brave, use the same brush, and just graze right under the shadows we placed first on the lower lash line. Now in person, I do have a really nice brown smoky eye. It's not because I can get really smoky, and I think this is very daily friendly if you want a smoky eye but you don't want it to get too dark very fast. I think these shades are great to achieve that look. But if you're looking for something ultra deep like Pat McGrath's brown, I don't know what it is, you apply those suckers and the smoke is just like gets in really fast. So this I think is more appropriate for like soft daily. I'm going to take a little bit of Bonnie, just a little bit, and place that on the very tip of my V, just to create a little more depth, because I want a little more contrast here, and I just want that to appear a touch smokier. And I'm patting it in because I don't want it to spread out quickly. So when I pat it in first, then I'm able to diffuse after without it getting too crazy. Of course, this got crazy, so I'm just gonna carefully, very carefully, brush inward and softly out to kind of make that happen. All right, so that is all. These are all the brown mattes from the palette. I'm just going to apply some inner corner highlight. Let me see, what should I do? I could use Gemini. So I'm actually gonna take Gemini, and this is like the rose goldy type of shade here, but I'm gonna wet my pinky, and then I'm gonna place that right to the inner corner, and I think that's gonna help it stick and really pump up the metallic finish on that. What is happening there? Oh my god. Sometimes when I try to form my side curls, if it's not enough hair, then it just looks like that. All right, I'm gonna apply mascara and be right back. All right, applied some mascara, and actually when I saw myself in the bathroom mirror, it does appear more smoky in person than it does on camera, and I actually really love how this turned out. It's like a really nice soft diffused look, but it's not overwhelming in terms of me appearing like I have a bunch of eyeshadow on, even though we apply like 4 shades. But you know, it's all about the blending. It's all about the blending. Quickly, I wanted to go in with Gemini. We did this on the other video, using this as a highlighter shade. With that, I'm going to use my Sigma F35. I'm just going to actually place it a little higher, like more on the actual high point of my cheek. And I really love how this shade can be used as a highlighter one. I think it's really pretty. I'm not crazy about it as like a shadow because it's actually very thin. And for me to get a lot of product on my lid, I'm gonna have to load the brush and even probably put some concealer on so it has a tacky base to latch onto. Otherwise, I feel like if you try to apply this with your finger, all the particles will fall because it's just like, for some reason, they don't adhere well when applied to the lid. I don't know why. I'm just gonna do a little spritz. Ideally, I would have liked to do that before my mascara, but it's fine. I'm just gonna punch the water in just so it could help melt that shade better into the skin. I think that's like a really nice sheen it provides, don't you think? Now I'm gonna apply, I have to buy another one. This is my Dior Rouge liquid lip in the shade Jungle Matte. I think this might have to be one of my best nudes. I also want to combine it with my Ofra liquid lip in Verona, but I'm going to primarily place this on the outside corners of my lip. I'm going to take my Makeup Forever Artist liner in Versatile Chestnut number 610 and just get a little definition. I love this brown because it's not your typical cool brown. Like Cork is like your neutral brown. This is like a rosy brown, which is like, oh yes. And here is the finished look. How do you like it? I am in love with Gemini. I am so happy that I purchased it. The flaws are the mattes are quite powdery, and just be careful that don't be too aggressive in punching your brush into the pan. Just lightly tap, and whatever gets on the palette, I just tap around the palette and pick up the shadow and apply it onto my lids. no trouble at all. And the whole point of Gemini with the two personalities, that you have two types of looks that you can create with this palette. You could just use Lorelei all over, or even use Mochi all over, and you just have a lot of options in terms of that, whether you want to go totally brown or you want to go all the way olive. And I feel that you could kind of choose the intensity as to how you want to bring your smoky eye, right? I could have just used Lorelei and Polka Dot and be fine, or I could just use Fire OG and Mochi. And the fact that I could use Gemini for a highlighter shade, I just think kind of widens the scope of options you can use this eyeshadow palette for. So I'm really excited about that. By far one of my most favorite, besides the Rust Stack. The Rust Stack I really love from Melt Cosmetics, but this, I don't know, the olive shades and the tones here are just phenomenal, and I can create the just most sultry, rich olive look using these shades. And I'm not too mad about this look either. I think it's gorgeous. The Lorelei shade really brings that out. That is not your typical light brown transition shade. It's like a mustard. It has a different characteristic to it. I think just brings something new to your neutral brown eye smoky look. Let me know down below if you picked up Gemini, if you're still thinking about it. I would pick it up, you know, it's $58, but I think this is perhaps one of the best eyeshadow palettes or eyeshadow products that Melt Cosmetics has ever released. It is a hit for me. I do not regret buying it, and I'm happy that it's in my collection. And that, my friends, is a wrap. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this video helped, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And until then, I'll see you on here again with another demo, tutorial, chit chat, or review. Take care, and I'll see you again soon.